Okay, we will go ahead and get started. Welcome to everyone who's joined us today for our session on ergonomics. I'm Jordan Fickus with Common Threads, and Common Threads is a national nonprofit that offers cooking and nutrition education for children and families in our 12 markets across the country. We're pleased to offer a series of wellness webinars for our employees, friends, and partners to help us continue to embrace a healthy lifestyle as we all navigate COVID-19. You can learn more about our programs, free resources, and our COVID-19 fundraising campaign at www.commonthreads.org/coronavirus. If you have any questions today, please feel free to chat them out in the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. We'd also love to hear any suggestions you have for future webinar topics, so feel free to use the Q&A window at the bottom of your Zoom screen for that as well. Your mics are all muted, your cameras are all turned off, just as a heads up to everyone. And I'm so pleased to introduce our speaker today. Chenu is an Austin-based bodywork practitioner who's passionate about helping people become free of pain and discover ease of movement. She started teaching fitness classes 33 years ago, and she's a certified personal trainer, yoga instructor, and licensed massage therapist. In this session, she'll share some tips for setting up your home office in an ergonomically friendly way. And I'm going to share her website here, just so you all have the ability to access that. I thought I was going to. Hold on just a moment. Here we go. So for more information on Ev's work, you can see her website here, evchenu.com. And then I also listed commonthreads.org/coronavirus. So all of our wellness programming will be posted there, plus some additional resources that are helpful for members of our community. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Ev for our course today.
Thank you so much. Hello, I hope everybody can hear me now. My name is Ev Chenu. Welcome to the Home Office Ergonomics webinar. I'm delighted to be here today. Thanks to Linda and Jordan at Common Threads for inviting me to share this information with you. We're living through such unique times. A lot of us are working from home, often in improvised offices. And even when we're not working, we're spending a lot of time looking at screens. So if we can do it in a way that's a little bit more friendly to our body, it can make such a difference. Your back will thank you, your neck will thank you, and you might even notice that your mood begins to improve and that your ability to focus gets a little bit sharper. And we can all use more of that right now, don't you think? So here's what we're gonna cover in today's webinar. First, and most importantly, we're gonna work on our body usage in sitting at our workstation. Next, we're going to look at the seat and the computer, the workstation, and work on making that fit us a little bit better. Then, because a lot of us are using not just desktops, but tablets and phones, I want to look at how we're using our mobile devices and make that a little bit more optimized. And then because attention does accumulate at the end of a long workday, I want to look at some ways that we can shed that tension, that we can neutralize the tightness that might have accumulated. But what this is not is some kind of magic chair or perfect setup that holds our body into place so that we never have to think about it and it just does the work for us. So sorry, no magic furniture today. At the end, I want to save a little bit of time for questions. So be sure to stick around for that. All right, so as we go along, I'd like for you to experience the activities that I'll do with you. So if you're at your workstation, if you have the chair that you normally use, that's great. I want you to be able to do the activities and feel that in your own body. So we've been told that sitting is terrible for us. And it's true that if we spend all day sitting, it's just not great. However, it's not just what you do, it's how you do what you do. So with that in mind, let's do a little experiment together. So I'm gonna adjust the screen a little bit so you'll be able to see me. And I'm gonna back up. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna explain what I'm going to do, and then we can do it together. I'm gonna have you sit back into your seat and slump, okay? And from here, we're gonna take a great deep breath in and out, and we're gonna count how many seconds it takes to breathe in and out. Notice how the breath feels in the body, and then make a mental note of that. Next, we're gonna focus on our neck, turn our head all the way to the right and all the way to the left. Notice how far we can look. Make a note of that, any ease or resistance in the neck. And we're gonna shift our position to the front of the seat. Do those two things again, the deep breath, the neck rotation, and we're gonna compare how that felt between the two positions. So, ready? Let's do this together. All right, go into the back of your seat and slump. Make it a good slump. And we're gonna take a deep breath. You can count how many seconds. I'll count in my head, I'll do it with you. You can count out loud since we're each in our own space. All right, here we go. Exhale first. Ready and begin. All right, hopefully everyone had time to do this. Okay, now, make a note of how many seconds that was and how you felt when you took that breath. Now the neck, rotate your head all the way to one side. See how far you can look, all the way to the other side, and back to the center. Make a mental note of that. All right, here, we're changing position. I'm scooting to the front of my seat here. If I turn sideways, you can see that I'm sitting forward. Let's do the deep breath again. Ready? Exhale and begin. All right, remember how many seconds that was and how you felt when you took that deep breath. Now your neck, rotate all the way to one side, check your range. All the way to the other side, check your range. Back to the middle. Did you notice a difference between the two positions when you were back in the seat versus more upright? I think a lot of people would notice that it was a little different. I know that it was for me. So when I took a deep breath more upright, I could take a deeper breath. It took several more seconds to fill my lungs and empty my lungs. And I could also feel that the breath was more distributed in my whole lung capacity, in my whole torso, as opposed to when I was sitting back, I felt this more just in my chest. I could also feel a difference in my neck rotation. I could go a little bit further, more upright than sitting back, and it was a little easier, a little less resistance. So why is that? What makes the difference? So one of the things that happens when your body is in a more neutral, direct posture is that your internal volume of your body increases. What that means is your lungs have more space. They're not squished. And your joints have more space, so they can move more freely. And even your circulation and your digestion benefit from this additional volume so that they can function optimally. So it makes a real difference. If you're spending the day in compression, it's working against you. But if you can move freely and breathe freely, it's going to support your health and your energy throughout the day. So now that we know that our body position makes a difference in how we function, let's take it to the next level. How do we know that we're really in our best alignment for us, for each person for right now? So I'm going to show you how to find that best alignment. But first, a very small anatomy lesson. So I have Mr. Bones here to help us. And what I want to show you is the sits bones. So when you're sitting, your sits bones are your support. Can you see? Hopefully you can see pretty well right here. The two sits bones, that's where your body is resting when you sit. And so I want you to have a visual so that when I refer to the sits bones, you're going to be able to have a sense of what that is. Okay. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to sit on this rolling stool so you'll be able to see me better. I'm going to move the chair. I would like to show you a movement that is going to help you find that optimal neutral position that's best for you for right now. So we're on our sits bones, and your sits bones rock. And I mean that literally and figuratively, of course. So you can rock the pelvis on the sits bones. You can rock back, put the weight of the body behind the sits bones, and forward in front of the sits bones, and then directly on top. So we're going to use this action in the move I'm about to teach you, which is called seated arcing. All right, here we go. There are 3 parts to this movement. We'll do it a few times. You can watch me the first time if you'd like, and then join in. The first part, the pelvis rolls back. We go behind the sits bones, and the upper body relaxes into an easy curve. That's called flexion. That's part 1 of the movement. For part 2, I'm going to shift forward a touch, bring my hands all the way up to the top of my legs, push on the feet, push on the hands, lengthen the front of the spine. That's part 2, extension. Then I'm going to release my push off and find those sits bones, get right on top of them. And that's part 3, finding my neutral alignment. Let's do it together. Here we go. The pelvis rolls back and the upper body eases into a curve, shoulders over hips, shoulders relaxed. Exhale. Prepare, take the hands all the way up. Rock forward with your torso a tiny bit. Push on the heels, push on the hands. Lengthen the front of the body. Shoulders are down. Breathe in. That's part 2, let it go. Find that neutral alignment that's in between those 2 extremes, neither flexed nor extended, but right in the middle. Hopefully that feels okay to everyone. If I'm doing anything at any point that doesn't feel right to your body, take care of yourself. Don't force anything. Okay, let's do it again. Hips roll back. The spine curves, the chest, ribs, neck relaxes, the breath exhales. Easy curve. Bring the hands to the top of the legs, pitch forward a tiny bit, prepare and push. Feet, hands, breath in, and let it go. Find that neutral for you, right in the center. Good, hopefully that feels great to everyone's body. I want to do it one more time. It takes a little practice. All right, here we go. Hips roll back, round in an easy way. Relax your spine, your chest, your shoulders. Hands to the top of the legs. Push on the floor first, hands next. Lengthen the front of the body and then relax. Find that neutral alignment. All right. So hopefully that felt really comfortable for you. This movement really has a lot of benefits, this seated arcing. So let me point out just a couple of things about it. So by flexing the body, extending the body, and then going right in between to neutral, you're speaking directly to your brain and your nervous system so that it's able to figure out, oh, okay, this is one direction, this is the other direction. Oh, okay, this is where I'm aligned in gravity. It's really about feeling where you're aligned in the gravitational plane rather than following a bunch of rules. So you're speaking directly to the brain and nervous system. So that's great. Another thing I really like about this move is that we push off the floor, we lengthen, and then we settle into our neutral. What your brain and your body are going to remember is that neutral is a place of ease. It's a place that you're going to want to spend time because it's comfortable. It's not somewhere you got to by tucking and pulling and lifting and being very effortful, which is often how we're taught to align ourselves. So we're relaxing into neutral, and therefore we're going to want to spend more time there. So some of the wonderful qualities of this movement pattern. All right, so now that we have aligned our body in a way that's starting to be a little more direct, let's go back to the chair. And I'd like for my chair to support me and to work with me rather than against me. So I'm going to talk about 3 aspects of the chair. And the first is the height of the chair, and then the slope. So I think you can tell that this chair slopes back, and that's really common, okay? And then the third aspect is the depth of the chair from the front to the seat. All right, so 3 parts. So notice I've set up the chair, and I think hopefully you can see me. I've set up the chair so that my hips are just a little bit higher than my knees, okay? And that's what we want, because if the chair is very low, that plus that backward slope, it tends to pull us back. So if I show you, if I lower the seat, what happens is I'm being pulled back into flexion by the physics of the chair, and it would be even more pronounced if I had longer legs. And I don't know about you, but I really do not want to spend all day fighting my chair. It pulls me back, and then I put a lot of effort into sitting up, and then it pulls me back. So I've got better things to do. So let's modify the chair. I'm going to raise it a bit. This chair goes up and down, so that's nice, but we can make adjustments even if our chair doesn't go up and down. We can use some props. So I have some pillows to show you. Here's a nice cushion. This is a cushion by Aston Kinetics, and I'll ask Jordan to show the web address in a moment. But let me show you how this side of the cushion is thicker than this side. So I can put it on the chair and it starts to fill that backward slope. So it's not pulling me back so far. So Jordan, do you have the link available? So you can look at that. Yeah, that's it. So if you're interested in purchasing some cushions, you'll be able to do that. I do not sell the cushions, but they are available online. So that's a good opportunity for you. So I will show you next. So let's go back to right here. So I can take the thick part of the cushion, put it towards the back of the chair. It starts to fill in that slope and it raises me a little bit more. And now I'm sitting forward quite comfortably. I don't know if you can tell, but this is easy. I'm not feeling that backwards pull. It's really quite nice, quite comfortable. Now, if we think about the depth of the seat, if I'm sitting up right here, there's a big gap between me and the back of the chair. So I have another cushion, also from Aston Kinetics. Oh, and one more thing about that seat cushion. They are cushions that are thicker, so a taller person or lower chair, you could use a thicker cushion. So here's the back cushion. It's got ribbons so it can be tied in place. It could be attached to a chair or even a car seat. And now I can sit back and fill that space with a cushion. And now I don't have that gap and I'm sitting upright and it's quite comfortable. So I've brought the chair to match my body size more comfortably. All right, but I know that right now a lot of people are just trying to make do with things around the house. So if you're not able to purchase these cushions, I'm going to show you a homemade version that you could also try. So let me show you, here's a towel, and I have folded it, it's just a bath towel. I have folded it so it's partially folded, an extra fold, and I can put it on my chair so that the extra fold begins to fill in that dip. And now I can sit right here, and it is also raising my hips and filling the slope, and that's pretty comfortable. If you were taller, you might need more than one towel to raise your hips appropriately for you. Now for the gap, I have some more props. I have some yoga blankets. So I can use the yoga blanket and set it on the back of the chair. And for some people, one might be enough because I'm pretty short. I'm gonna use two. And here. And now when I sit, I can scoot back a little bit into the seat and I have some support right here. The seat isn't so far back. So now I've got that support, not so much of a gap. All right, so here are some homemade solutions that we can use that are practical, in addition to the really nice ergonomic cushions from Aston Kinetics that are also available to you. So now that we've looked at the chair, I want to focus on my workstation. I put my laptop up on a bunch of books, so that's a pretty low-tech solution. And I raised the laptop because I wanted the screen to be in a good height so that I could look at the screen. My eyes are looking down slightly, but I don't have to bend my spine to look low or look high. So that's a pretty good place for the screen for me. So yeah, books, it works. Now the keyboard is not in a good place. It's too high up. So having a separate keyboard, if you use a laptop or a tablet, having a separate keyboard might allow you to set the screen and have your hands be able to adjust that independently. you want your hands to be somewhere between elbow level or a little lower. This is, if I had a keyboard drawer here, that might be ideal for me, but this works. It's not too bad, and I have a gel little wrist pad that I can rest my wrists on, and it's quite comfortable, and I can reach the keyboard and a mouse. So that's a good solution for a workstation. If you're a very tall person and you raise your seat and you start to run into the desk, you could, because your knees are so high, you could consider either a sit-stand desk that goes up and down, or if you just wanted a homemade solution, you could put some 2x4s under the legs of the desk and make it a little taller. So to get your legs under for a taller person. So there's lots of ways that we can adjust the furniture to make it fit us. So that's a lot of information right here. And I encourage you, when the recording is available after today, to go back and look at this section so you can have more time to think about it and maybe get some props around your house and try these different solutions yourself. All right, now that we have looked, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, we're gonna take a look, now that we've given some thought to our desktop, let's look at our mobile devices. So I have my phone here. Now, are you one of those people who holds their phone like this? Now, what's happening here to my neck and shoulder? It's not good. So if you're doing this, just stop right now. Not a good thing, so don't do it. You can hold the phone to your ear, and if you need hands-free, use the speakerphone, use headphones, but don't compress your neck and shoulders. That's not a good thing. So that's one thing I see with the phone use. Another thing we do is we hold our phone, we look at it when we text, and I've seen people do this a lot, haven't you? Either sitting or standing, where we're looking down at our phone. And what is the problem with this position? Well, what's happening is my neck is bent, and there's this one place in my spine that has this huge bend. It's all focused on this one place, putting a lot of stress just right here. And over time, that can cause problems. So it would be ideal if my phone was way up there, but realistically, I just can't hold my arms up like that. So I can find a good halfway measure, which could be to rest my elbows on my body. So the phone is not really low, but quite a bit higher. And now I can look at the phone, instead of having one giant bend in one part of my spine, my whole body can bend just a tiny bit. So the curve is distributed, then my eyes look down as well. So now there's not one place in the body and the spine that's taking all of the stress. And it's pretty workable. I can use the phone like this. Okay, so that's another pretty easy solution you can implement to be a little more kind to your spine and in your back and your neck. Now, tablets. So with tablets, we often see, now this could be in a chair, it could be on the sofa. People frequently sit like so and read, and sometimes we're reading a novel or something, so we might read a long time. And here I'm in compression, so that's far from ideal. I could prop the tablet on a desk. That might work. Let me show you one more thing we could do. I'm gonna grab another prop, and that is a nice fluffy pillow. And I can take this pillow, put it vertically on my lap, And now I can rest my arms on the pillow really comfortably, and I can hold my tablet and I can read for a long time, and I'm in a good position. It's great for my shoulders. It's great for my back, and it's really an easy thing to do. So I recommend it. Give it a try. All right, let's set this aside. Okay, so now we have looked at ways that we can sit better and ways to improve our setup, our furniture. Let's look at some additional ways that we can make sure the tension doesn't build throughout the day. You could sit on different kinds of chairs. Even if you have one nicely set up chair, you could still have more than one. So you could sit on one chair, you could sit on a rolling stool like what I had earlier, you could sit on one of those big exercise balls, and by rotating, you shift what stress and pressure is happening in your body, so you prevent tension from accumulating. So switching the types of seats that you're using, that's one possibility. You could also alternate between a sitting and standing desk. So for pretty moderate price, you could purchase a converter that takes your computer from a seated version to a standing version. And so you could alternate throughout the day, do some work sitting and some work standing. So that would be another possibility. And depending on how your work day is and what flexibility you have, you can think about alternating activities. Instead of doing everything you're going to do at the computer all at once, you could do something at the computer and then alternate with some other kinds of activities that require a different kind of movement, such as something in the kitchen or the garden, some other kinds of tasks. So you're not spending so much time all at once sitting. So that's depending on if your schedule allows. But you may have to stay longer. And so remember the seated arcing move I showed you, because that will be a move that you can use to neutralize tension in a wonderful way. I'll do it one more time for you so that you can see. So I'm sitting a little more forward for the seated arcing. I'm going to let my pelvis roll back, relax the spine, exhale. You can do it with me if you want. And then we're gonna push off the floor, push off the hands, breathe in, and let it go. Find the neutral position right on those sit bones where we are nicely supported. If I can mention one more great thing about seated arcing, is that it's a form of self-massage. And right now, so we're recording this April 20th, 2020, and we are not able to go see our massage therapists and chiropractors. So if you have a little aches and pains, you want to be able to take care of yourself. So seated arcing is your friend. It's something you can do to help loosen up. You can do it when you first set up at your computer. You can do it throughout the day as a kind of reset. And you can do it at the end of the day to shake off some of that tension. So it's your friend. It's a wonderful tool in your toolkit. Other things you can do, you can set a timer and take some stretching breaks. Let's do some stretches together. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to tilt the screen so you can see me standing a little more. Okay. Hopefully you can see me well. So you can stand up, and here's something really simple. Do this if it feels good to your shoulders and back. So take care of yourself here. Don't do anything that hurts. But I'm going to push off the floor and take my arms up and stretch. And I can reach a little to the right and a little to the left. If I turn sideways, you can see I'm not bending back too far. I'm reaching up and then let it go. It's so simple, and yet right away it starts to get rid of the cobwebs from sitting down for a long time. So simple, but very helpful. And then there's your hip flexors, the front of your hips have a tendency to get quite tight. So when you sit, this is in a shortened position. And so it can really tighten up over the course of the day. So let's stretch that out. We're gonna take a big step. You can join me in doing this. And if you need to hold on to something for balance, please do. I'm gonna put weight on both feet and both knees are a little bit bent. I'm gonna lift my back heel, bring this hip, so my right heel is back, my right hip is moving forward. And so now I wanna feel that this is lengthening, opening up. And then if you wanna, in addition, if it feels good, you have the option to reach up with this arm, get a little extra length if you want, and then let it go. Let's do it to the other side. So a big step, weight on both feet, push off the back heel, bring this hip forward, feel it opening up, hold on to something if you need to, and then take this arm up as an option for a little extra stretch. All right, good. So opening the hip flexors. Other muscles that really tighten up, hands from texting, typing, hands, wrists, forearms. So let's stretch those out too. I'll demonstrate, then we can do it together. I'm gonna use my whole body to do this. I'm gonna push off, put body weight on my right foot. I'm gonna push off, lengthen the right side, open my arm in a diagonal, turn the palm up and open the fingers like I'm holding a tray, and then turn back and let that go. So I'm gonna go back to the same side so we can do it together if you're watching. Here we go, put your weight, I'm using my right foot. Put weight on the right foot, the right side of the body lengthens, the arm opens, spread the fingers, turn the palm up, rotate any amount that feels good, breathe into it. And then let it go. Good. I think we should do it to the other side. Push off the left foot, raise the arm in a diagonal, palm open, fingers open, rotate, breathe, expand. And that's great. Okay, I hope that felt really good there. So opening up our wrists, our hands, our fingers. Now release the arms, just let them flop, do an easy rotation on your central axis and let your arms be completely floppy. And very good. Okay, one more group of muscles that we should remember, and they tend to be forgotten quite a bit. That's our eyes. So 2020, in addition to being today's date, is a way that you can remember. You may have heard of this. This is a way to remember to take a little break for the eyes. So 2020 stands for every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look 20 feet away. So when your eyes look far away, you are relaxing the muscles in the eyes compared to when you look close up. There's more tension in the eyes. So remember to do this to rest your eyes. Okay, so we have covered a lot of things about how to find our best alignment while sitting, and how to improve our workstation and our usage of mobile devices. and how to neutralize accumulated tension. So I want to take a few moments now to take questions. Does anybody have some questions that I might be able to answer?
Great, thank you, Ev. And again, folks, if you have a question, use the Q&A feature down at the bottom. Your mics are turned off, so you'll have to chat them out. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and put up on the screen the website for Aston Kinetics, and then also Ev's website again for folks who didn't catch that earlier on.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Hopefully that'll be in the notes too, maybe next to the video,
Yep.
and people can go and watch the video again and practice some of the things that we did, because it was a lot of information. So. And I want to make sure everyone knows that I am available for private Zoom sessions. So if you didn't feel that your concerns were addressed very specifically, I'm happy to help you problem solve in a more individual way. So keep that in mind. And you can reach me through my website. Even if you just want to say hello, let me know how this all works out for you, these various ideas. So I'd love that. So.
Great.
All right,
And
so do we have some questions? Yeah.
We do. Krista has asked, how often do you recommend standing up and stepping away from the desk?
Oh, frequently, yeah. Some of it will depend on the tasks that you have to do. Sometimes you just don't want to stop in the middle of a specific task, but you can time it around the tasks that you have. But if you can do it every 20, 30 minutes, that's great. And if you forget, do it as soon as you remember. Perhaps you can set a timer that might work for you. But if you can do it, yeah, 20, 30 minutes, at least every hour for sure. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting a couple more questions here. Hi, Ev, thanks for conducting this session. I normally don't wear shoes when I work from home. Is it beneficial to the body to wear shoes while you're sitting at your workstation?
I don't think it's necessary. No, I don't think you need shoes. I think you just adjust your seat and your workstation for your leg length without the shoes. The same principles apply, just for however your feet touch the ground without the height of the shoes. Yep.
Great. Well, if you could hear everyone on the phone, I would bet there'd be a sigh of relief, because I know a lot of people are opting not to wear shoes while they're working from home. It's a nice,
right.
one of the benefits,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Great. So we have another question. That previous question was from Ariani. This question's from Josh. Josh asked, I said mostly work standing up. I've been having trouble with my right shoulder for a while, and now my right elbow and wrist are starting to hurt. I try to let my arm hang down, but often I'm holding my hand up on my mouse keyboard for a while. Not sure what to do about it.
Right. So we didn't address the standing part so specifically, and how to neutralize standing. That might just be another webinar, but you might alternate with sitting. So people find that if they stand all day, they're having issues just as if they were sitting all day. So changing position, maybe having breaks where your arm is supported a little bit more in a sitting position. I don't know if that's an option for the way you have your work, but that could be a possibility. You might notice if you're standing on both feet versus just one. Sometimes we stand in a way that's not supporting the side that's where we're using the mouse. So that could be a possibility. But yeah, maybe try alternating with a sitting station. So it's changing how you're using the arm.
Great. Anyone else with questions? Feel free to chat them out.
Yeah, there's so much we could talk about there. I mean, when I was putting this together, I thought, wow, we could, we could do this for, a whole day, but that's a little long. But, if there's some interest, we can always do more, and then you can always reach me for further questions. Yeah, there's so many aspects to this that could be really interesting.
For sure. I just put the information up there again.
Okay.
So Ev, thank you very much on behalf of Common Threads for joining us today for this wellness webinar. A lot of really terrific information. I know I personally appreciated all the mobile device. Sometimes we don't see those tips, and that doesn't get covered as much as maybe the traditional workstation. But in
Yes.
today's day and age, especially probably working from home, we're on those mobile devices maybe just as much sometimes.
Right.
So thanks to everyone for joining. We will continue to offer additional wellness sessions coming up, so make sure you're on our website. And again, Ev has made herself available if you have questions offline. Wishing everyone a very healthy and safe rest of the day and a great week.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you to Common Threads for all the fantastic work that you do. And I hope that what we did today was really helpful and that you'll be able to use it in your daily life to support your health every day.
Wonderful. And again, this session will be posted on our YouTube channel in the coming days, and it will be available in just a moment on our Facebook account. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.